All right, so thank you everyone for watching this session. So actually, if we're going to compare it in the live session, we are actually halfway from the live training right now. So in this topic, we just created a sequence. So congratulations for creating your sequence. Now, this topic will be checking the settings of our clip. So checking the settings of our clip. How can we check the settings of our clip? Now, here in the project panel, let me just like drag this back to the start because this is where it belongs to. And reset to save layout ko lang po siya ha. Just like if it's your first time opening Premiere Pro. Now, we have our sequence. We just created our sequence and we named it as 1080-30. And it's actually a 1080 resolution and 30 FPS po siya, which is correct. Now, if we double click our clips, once again, we can see them in our source screen, right? But how am I able to check the settings of our clip? So if you try to align your mouse to the title of the clip, you can see their settings. Like this settings of the clip is a 3840 by 2160 and 29.29 FPS. We got the others, which is 1080. We have 1080, 1080, 720. I guess we don't have any 720. So how are we able to check the settings of our clip? Well, if you go to the title, but to be more accurate, which I really advise, and it looks organized, is just like in our File Explorer, we have the chance to watch it or to check it whether if it's in large icons or in the details view. Sometimes if I memorize the clips already, I use the large icons. But if there are lots of them, I prefer using the details view. Bakit? Like especially here in the recordings, if I'm tracking the recordings I had for each sessions, so I use this details kasi makikita ko yung date, the time and date when it was used or when it was created, the file type, the file size, the duration. Okay. Same way applies here in the project panel. So we have different types of view kasi dito. So where can we find that different types of view? Hold on. Saglit lang ha. I can see that here. Okay. So different types of view in the project media panel. So we have the list view, and that is that for our first icon. Do you see this one on the bottom left? Yan. List view. So ito po siya yung naka-circle ngayon. That's the list view. This is the icon view. And you might hear ABB crying, but right now it's good. So we have the list view, the icon view, and the freeform view. Actually, hindi kasali yung green na pencil ha. The project is writable though. I don't use that one. So going back here, we have the list view, which is the details. The icon view, which is the first preview we had earlier, na makikita natin ang thumbnail sila. And we have here the freeform. Okay. So dito po sa ating, in these three icons, we have the list view, icon view, and freeform. Let's start with freeform. Honestly, itong freeform from the right, I don't use this one. Kaya siya freeform because you're able to drag the slide around to minimize or maximize it. Now, we also have here the icon view. So itong icon view, ito yung kanina, di ba? But the first one, which is the list view, this is what I recommend. In all means, especially if you're a beginner, I always suggest that you use the list view. Kasi if icon view ka, you're not aware sa dami ng mga clips mo, what are the settings of these clips? So we go to the list view. Now, here class, with the list view, ayan. Okay. Let's start with the first clip. Actually, you're able to rearrange them in the list view based on the name. So, sino yung in an alphabetical order or in an alphabetical order or through frame rate. Pwede mo ma-decide kung ano po yung order nila. But, yeah, let's just start with the first one. Dito tayo kay pedestrian. Pedestrian, well, based on its title, it's 1080. So, this clip right now, itong si pedestrian clip, before its title, you see this one? Yan. That part. It has a video and an audio. So this clip pala comes with an audio file, comes with an audio clip. Now I don't know how it looks like. To check its preview, we double click its box before it. You see this box? Hindi mo na ako mag-spotlight. You see this box? If you double click that, this one right now, you will see its preview in the source screen. So ito pala yung pedestrian. Yung nag-pedestrian, tumatawid talaga. Now, it comes with an audio. But beware that most of the clips, especially if they are stock footages, drag ko lang siya ha. So let me just drag and drop it here on the layer 1. And we zoom in. Now, if I'll adjust the height, we are able to adjust the height of the track, especially the audio tracks. So if I'll adjust it, it comes with an audio, but it doesn't have any volume. So if you play it back, you can't hear anything. So don't worry. This clip doesn't have any volume at all. Okay. Now, next to Lake 1080. Or how about, let's go back. Let's cut off to Gio. Si Gio, nakikita natin, video with audio siya, this one. So if I'll double-click the box before it to see how it looks like, may audio to. Try natin to kanina, di ba? If I'll drop it here, drop ko na siya diretso, malalaman mo kapag yung clip mo mayroong volume because there is a spike. If wala po siyang spike, then camera ko then it doesn't have any volume. Actually, makikita mo naman dito sa right side na kapag nagsa-spike siya, so may volume talaga. Now, let me just delete them and zoom out the bits. Now, this is a video with audio. Itong pangalawa. Ito naman yung video lang alone. So, itong Lake 2 1080, double-click ko siya. It is only a video. It doesn't have an audio. So, video only lang. So, malalaman mo kapag video only lang. So, we have Lake 1 4K. You don't see the difference yet, not unless if ma-drag na natin sila sa timeline. So, we have Grassfield 4K. It comes with an audio. Video with audio. And kapag audio logo lang, like this one, that is our audio clip. That's our music. Video with audio, video only, and our sequence. So, yung sequence kasi natin, lalabas siya as a clip. Ito po siya ngayon. Itong kakagawa lang natin na Array 1080-30. So, if I close the sequence accidentally, it doesn't mean that it's totally gone. It's actually still there. You just need to double-click the box before it for you to open it up. So, it's like, the sequence is like your group, your folder sa mga clips ini-edit mo pa lang. So, in case if you just wanted to hide it, you can hide it from your timeline. But if you wanted to open them again, just double-click the sequence. It will just show up po class. Now, where's my glasses? Hold on. Where? The chair. Hold on lang class ha. Now, if we're going to use icon view, the second one, see icon view kasi, it's kind of redundant. Even though that you see the preview, you still need to double click to see them, to access them, the source screen. So why not just use the list view instead? Now, supposedly, I'm going to teach you how to create folders on the next sessions, pero ngayon ituturo ko na lang mamaya. Maybe mamaya ituturo ko na lang before we end the entire sessions how to create a folder. But right now, we know how to identify a clip, whether it's a video, may kasamang audio, if it's a video only, audio only, and the sequence. Now, next to their names, or if you wanted to rename them, you can just click the title to rename them, right? Just click it again to rename them. And next to them are what we call frame rates. This is their FPS, their frames per second. So even though that they are different, like 25, 29, 30, you don't really need to worry if they have different FPS, because actually right now, the FPS doesn't really matter. What actually matters in the next session is the resolution, the differences in the resolution. However, we must check, or actually the FPS always starts first from the name. Pero hindi po next to this one is the resolution. So I'm looking for the resolution. Kaya how does the resolution look like? Or ano po talaga yung itsura ng resolution? So based on this image, details of the list view. So I've told you about this video with audio, sequence, audio only earlier. And naka-list view tayo, di ba? FPS and resolution. So supposedly video info po dapat yung next to frame rate. So it's resolution. You see there resolutions. However, I don't see it right now because it's still in the middle. So originally, itong project panel, there is a slide below. You see the slide below? This one. Malawak pa to. So if you slide this over, not to the end, but maybe almost in the middle, hinay-hinay lang, dahan-dahan lang, then you'll find this resolution. See, 1920 by 1080. This resolution. This video info, this is the resolution. Now, para hindi na ako pabalik-balik, like I'll go back from the start to see the FPS and I'll go back to the middle to see the resolutions. Itong video info, just like what I do always, I drag this next to my frame rates. So madrag mo kasi siya, you're able to replace them. Para yung FPS and resolution, you can now see them already. So as what we could see, we have here pedestrian, that is 1920 by 1080. So I guess I've explained it earlier about 1920 by 1080. Pero coach, bakit po ba siya, ulitin ko, 1920 by 1080? Because once again, it's 16 by 9. Hold on ha, meron ako idagdag dito. 16 by 9 aspect ratio. So that is the landscape. So see 16, if napapansin mo, it's bigger than 9. Because what is 16? 16 is the width. That's why width yung nauna. So that is width, class, that's width by height. And if you compare it here, totoo nga, mataas si width, it's 1920 pixels by 1080 pixels. So the way on how you measure them is through pixels po kasi. So that will be 1920 if I'm going to draw it. So mas mataas si width compared to height. So by 1080, that is the height. Kasi if mangyayari, if mas maliit si width, then mas mataas si height, hindi yan landscape. Portrait yung tinutukoy mo. Dapat landscape tayo na mas mataas si width compared to height para landscape po siya. And it's not just 1920 by 1080 or we call it as 1080 alone, yung ating 16 by 9. Marami po silang 16 by 9. So if we'll try to draw that, we also have other resolutions like say 720. This is 1080 and 4K is really big. 4K is way bigger than 1080. I'll show you the difference later and how exactly big is 4K compared to them, to 1080 pa. And we can see that they are mostly 1080, 1080, and this one is 4K. So 3840 by 2160, I named it already as 4K, but this is what we call 4K, huh? So just like watching a YouTube video, if you're going to watch a YouTube video, let me go back to YouTube lang. If we watch the clip at 4K, how about this music or this scene from Sing 2? They uploaded it as actually my 1440, but usually from 1080 we jump over to 4K na. So 2160. So if you watch the clip at 4K kasi, especially in YouTube, or if you're streaming at 4K, you'll have a really, really sharp quality if you are watching that video. So 2160, or we call it as 4K na. So there you go. I'll just type it here. So 3840 by 2160 is 4K. And they belong to the 16 by 9 landscape, kumbaga. Kasi if napapansin mo, width is higher than its height. So that is a landscape na aspect ratio. Now, since we know how to check the resolutions, pati yung ating music, it doesn't have any FPS or resolution, huh? So it's just our clips lang. Now, our sequence, once again, as what I've said, it's 1080, then 30. So let me just go ahead and delete my clips because I'll proceed na with the next topic. However, I will not stop this session. Mag-continue na lang tayo since you're here. So I wanted you to delete all of your clips except exclude nyo si sequence. Huwag mong i-delete si sequence mo. Okay? Or if you accidentally deleted your sequence, you can click undo by clicking Control Z. Or if you deleted your sequence and you just want to create a sequence, I told you earlier na mag-file new sequence lang, right? And I told you about the array 1080-30. Same thing. Click OK and just rename them here. I'll just name it as 1080-30 once again. Just in case lang, but do not delete your sequence if nagawa mo na siya. Now, alright. If you have any questions, I'll be creating a group. So dito sa group po natin, which is batch 146, I guess we're all here. Si App Installer po yung ating message if you need any help with technical concerns about video editing. Like, Coach, bakit ganito itsura sa screen ko? Why is it not the same with Coach Jeff? Or I'm having a hard time following Coach Jeff. Then you message App Installer. Okay? Now, going back, this session right now, So instead of checking the settings earlier, setting the right frame size to our sequence. Setting the right frame size to our sequence. What does it mean? Now, what if kasi I have gathered different clips from my clients or to someone else? Now, what if the clips that I've gathered is, like for example, this is 720. May 720 ako. Ganito kasi kalaki si 720. And this is 1080. And 4K is a lot bigger. So 4K is really big. And this is our sequence. Let me just try to make it bigger yung notepad. This is our sequence. So once again, the settings of our sequence or the resolution of our sequence is 1080, di ba? So this is 1080. Now if I'll try to type here, we have here 720. This is 1080. And this is 4K. One more time. This is 4K. Then our sequence once again is 1080, right? So we will mix. Hold on. So itong tatlo, itong three different sizes, we're going to mix all of them to 1080. Would it be possible? Yes, it is possible. And that's what we're going to do right now. And I'll teach you the shortcut, which is very easy to make that can make your work faster and faster and better. But how am I sure that this is how big is 720, 1080, 4K? Papakita ko mamaya, may illustration naman ako. Explain ko po siya later on. Now, going back, may gagawin muna ako saglit lang ha. Hold on lang class. I need to activate something. Hold on. Hold on. I have deactivated something before kasi. So, hold on lang ha. That's the audio. Yeah, I guess I can see it in my end. So, ganito na lang. I don't see the clip mismatch warning. Hold on lang. Right clip mismatch warning. Media. Maybe I'll click reset here. Yeah, I don't see it anymore. Enable clip and XMP. Yeah, I don't. I guess I don't see it anymore. Maybe it's not here. Sorry for taking too much of your time, huh? Timeline, program monitor, extensions, workspaces. Yeah. Um, project manager. Okay. You might not see this. Ano kasi? You might not see this. I have a problem. Wait lang ha. Clip mismatch warning. Create preset. Yeah, the clip mismatch warning isn't showing up, so okay. Maybe I'll just search it in Google lang. Hold on, please. Clip mismatch warning. Okay. This will show up because if it's your first time. I don't have it anymore. That's because I don't have it anymore. That's because I have deactivated it. Kasi, yeah, this one. My students always send me this one, clip mismatch warning. Ito pa. So let me just like save this image and hold on lang class. Bear with me. Ayan. Okay, so going back here. Yeah, we're back on track. Sorry. Now, if I go to your file explorer right away, here, below, batch 146, right? And if I go to your free footage and music, as you've noticed, I have deleted my clip, so I'll be importing again. Meron kayong makikita dyan na tatlong or three same footages. We have here Lake 1 4K, Lake 2 1080, and Lake 3 720. So you have three different, no, three same clips, three identical clips, but different resolutions. I want you to drag the three of them here. So as you can see, there are three different resolutions. So the first one is 720. That is the 1280 by 720. We have 1920 by 1080 and 3840 by 2160. So we're done with the 4K and the 1080. Itong si 720, it's a new one. Well, it's the smallest amongst the three. So that is 1280 by 720. Did I erase what I've typed earlier? Yeah, mukhang na-erase ko siya. No, yeah, na-erase ko nga. Yeah, I erased it. So, ganito na lang. So, 1280 by 720. Na-erase ko yung na-type ko kanina. 3840 by 2160. And we have 1920 by 1080. So, all of them belongs to the 16 by 9 na aspect ratio. Landscape po itong tatlo. Like you can see that they're all landscape. Different scales nga lang sila. So, the one that matches or I will try to combine the three of them, like the three different sizes. So just like what I've drawn earlier into our sequence na resolution. So our sequence is 1080, right? So 1080 po siya. Now what will happen is I'll try to combine the three of them into one resolution. Well, obviously, the first one that matches is the 1080 because they have the same resolution. But how about the other two, right? So if you will drag first, see 1080, yeah, 1920 by 1080. If you drag it here to your sequence, that is 1080. Ulitin ko, I double click it and once you drag the video clip, my clip mismatch warning na lalabas po sa inyong end. Kaya huwag kayong magtataka about the clip mismatch warning. It somewhat look like this. Actually, it's the same with this. For the clip mismatch warning, so this clip does not match to the sequence settings. This will definitely show up here in the middle. So this clip does not match to the sequence settings. Definitely, it won't match. Bakit? The first clip that we drag is si 1080 Lake. It actually matches to our sequence to 1080. But dito siya nag-trigger sa FPS. 29.97 FPS kasi yung ating clip and our sequence is 30. Which doesn't really matter at all. Pero, kailangan mo talagang maklik to ng maayos. Okay? Kasi if you click change sequence settings, if what will be the settings to your first clip that you drag will now be the settings of your sequence. So what if yung na-drag ko dito sa timeline ko is si 4K? Siya yung na-drag ko, si 4K. I drag it to my timeline and I click change sequence settings. I click this. So, maging 4K na yung sequence mo. Kasi mag-adjust po kasi siya. Like, do we need to change the sequence to match to the clip settings? So, that's why it's not suggested to click change sequence settings. You must click keep. I mean, before you click keep, you uncheck the always ask, uncheck mo to, and you click keep. Kaya, para ma-uncheck mo na always ask. It won't ask forever like mine. Like, ito yung problema ko kanina. It's not showing up anymore. So, uncheck ko na siya. And once you click keep, always naka-keep na po siya forever. So, the next video that we'll drag is the 4K. So, I'll drag the 4K. The warning won't show up anymore since na-uncheck mo na si always ask and it's always keep na. So, if we zoom in to play it back, my 1080 like totally matches to my sequence because it's 1080. Not up until pagdating ni playhead dito kay 4K. So bakit pagdating kay 4K naka-zoom in siya? 4K looks exactly fine here in the source screen. Kasi the source screen will just show a preview. Not up until madrag mo na to a different size na sequence. Remember how big is 4K? Diba, nagbigay ko ng drawing kanina, but that wasn't accurate. I have here a more accurate pa na resolution difference. So these are the exact illustration on the differences in their sizes and resolution. So resolution is the size of the video. High resolution will have high quality. Good. So let's disregard quality. Let's focus on fitting them in. So this was 720. You see this one? It's really small. May 480 pa nga yung ating mga televisions before. We have 1080, the full HD, the green one. And the ultra high definition. That's 4K. That's the orange one. Itong yellow, this one exists in a camera, 4096 by 2160. Ito yung sa may DSLR, if you have a DSLR. Pero right now, using our phones or any types of or any cameras like your GoPro, it's actually 3840 by 2160 yung 4K natin. Now, 4K is 4 times bigger than 1080. Tingnan mo si 1080, pang-apat siya dapat ma-multiply. Akala ko times 2 lang before, but it's actually 4, as you can see in the illustration. So, if we go back here, if we play it back, the question is, see 4K, how many percentage of 4K that is showing up in our 1080 na screen? This screen is 1080, so if we're going to draw this, 1080 to, di ba? Then we only see a part of 4K because 4K is overflowing in the screen because it's really big. It doesn't fit in. That's why we only see a part of it. So nakikita lang natin ngayon dito kay 1080 is only 25%. 1/4, no. Ang nakikita lang natin kay 4K inside the 1080 na sequence is 25%. It's 1/4. The rest of the 3/4 is still outside. Coach, is it a problem? No, it's not a problem. I'm just showing it to you that 4K is big. Kaya if you drag a 4K clip to a sequence na 1080, that is a smaller sequence, naka-zoom in siya. Much better if you know how to fix this kasi. And the way on how to fix it, we'll try to use a shortcut, which is really easy. You just need to right-click your clip, and you find the word set to frame size. Right-click your clip, your 4K clip, and click set to frame size. Automatic kasi siyang mag-scale down. Tingnan mo ah. So if I right-click my 4K clip, this is my 4K, right? And you'll find the word set to frame size. Now, if you're using a laptop class, like you're using your Mac, you're using your Windows, and you have a compressed, like naka-zoom in a screen, you might not see the set to frame size right away kasi maliit yung screen nyo. So you'll see an arrow down below, like sa pinakailalim, you'll find an arrow down, and you click that to see the rest of them up until makita mo si set to frame size. Sa amin, I have a wide monitor. That's why the set to frame size can be seen right away. So right-click lang and set to frame size. And now you're good. As you can see, it now fit in. Nag-scale down, lumiit si 4K para mag-fit in siya to 1080. Now let me click undo once again. Undo. Let me use Karnak. Hold on. Yeah, this is a keystroke para makita po natin siya. Okay. So, I'll click Control Z, undo. Na-delete siya, no? I'll just drag the 4K once again. So, right-click your 4K, set the frame size. There you go. Now, if I go to... Okay, before I go to my 720, the question is, now since nag-undo ako right-click, set the frame size, nag-scale down siya. Since lumiit si 4K, nag-scale down siya for it to fit into 1080, are we compromising its quality? I guess you can hear me right now. Maybe you can answer by your own, even though we are not in the same meeting because this is a recording. So, is 4K's quality compromise? Lumiit po ba siya para lang mag-fit in since dagdag scale down tayo to 4K? Like, naging pangit po bang quality? From a high quality, like, this is a high quality to a low quality po ba siya? The answer is no. Nothing's been compromised with its quality. It is still a sharp clip. So here in Premiere Pro, if you started with a higher setting, you're able to go down to a lower setting. So this one right now, C4K, is sharp. I'll show you later the difference. Not up until, okay, so if nag-start ka sa malaki na resolution, pwede ka mag-scale down. Pwede kang lumiit by keeping the quality still. Pero if you started with a 720, hold on lang class. If you started with 720, yeah, going back. 720 ha. Drag ko siya to my sequence na 1080. Well, we all know that 720 is the smallest amongst the three. So pagdating ni 720 to playhead, pagdating ng ating playhead to 720, it is actually small. It's actually small. So how can I fit that in? It's the same thing. You do the right-click method and set the frame size. So, lumaki. Okay? Nag-scale up. But the question is, let's consider 720 as a low quality. Now, ang tanong, naging high quality po ba siya? So, from a low quality, naging high quality po ba since nag-scale up tayo? The answer is no. You cannot convert a lower resolution to a higher quality. Well, you're able to scale them up. You're able to upsize them. However, you're keeping the quality. Or tendency, if you try to scale it up, it will pixelate. So it will be pixelated. Kaya, to show you a proof of a 720 na quality, if we zoom in here, so we can change the zoom level kasi dito. In the program monitor, we can zoom in, maybe at 150%. Maklarong-klaro naman siya sa zoom that 720 is this blurred. Actually, 720 is quite blurred. But si 4K, you can see that it's really sharp. Di ba? Lalo at kapag gamit mo na monitor is also 4K capable, then you can appreciate that it's really sharp. So this is 720 and this is 4K. So see the difference. But regardless the quality, you know, that's the quality. So if you have a smaller resolution, you try to scale it up para mag-fit into a high resolution, you cannot increase the quality, ha? So it's like the same analogy with keeping a CCTV footage or having a CCTV footage convert to a high quality. Di ba? Klarong-klaro yung mga dumadaan sa CCTV, yung mga akot bahay, klarong-klaro sana. Kaso hindi eh. Yeah, kailangan mo na mamahaling mga camera para at least klarong-klaro. But if you only have a generic CCTV, usually it's like 720 lang quality nila. Kaya it's not that good. It's not that sharp. Okay? So why am I telling you this? Is it because CCTV? No. The reason why I'm telling you this, because soon you will encounter the same aspect ratios, but different resolutions. Like for example, it's not just them that we have. We have other clips that we found online or provided by our clients. Okay? Na iba't ibang settings. Like they provided me with other 720, other 4K clips, and they wanted us to include that in our project. Tapos yung target nila, gusto nilang gagawin is you just need to create a 1080 video, an HD video. So 1080 yung ating project. But the clips that we have different settings, different resolutions. So if regardless the quality, what we're just after is we just need to have the clip. Sorry. Yeah, regardless the quality, I just want the clip to fit into my project. So drag and drop ko lang even though that it is a smaller. So this is 720. So it's smaller. So I'll be giving you assignments pala in our day one. And I'll be checking the progress and we'll be giving you feedback. So we will chat you po. Since you're watching the recording, we will chat you about your progress and we just need to give you a feedback that you did good and pwede ka na mag-proceed sa next. Or actually, without our feedback, we'll try to do our best to give you the feedback right away. But you can continue on the next session naman. So right-click ka lang and set the frame size. There you go. So if you have other clips, if you drag the video, so if it's 4K, Right-click lang, set to frame size. So malalaman ko po yung hindi nag-follow sa instruction kasi if I could see in your assignment, most of the footages that you used, kilala ko na sila. Well, if nakikita ko naka-zoom in, then definitely I will call you out. Joke lang. Now, at least we'll inform you na you forgot to set the frame size. Maybe you did not follow the instruction. Wag pong magtamad-tamaran ha. You always double check the settings, please. The resolution especially. Now, right-click ko lang siya and set the frame size. And now we are able to use the clip. Nag-scale down na si 4K. Now, why am I always pushing you this? Why am I pushing this? Is it necessary? Yes. There will be a time kasi na different resolutions po yung may encounter natin. So, especially in my real estate videos, so even though that you don't have any of these clips. Nasaan po ba yung aking real estate? Hold on. Yeah. Actually, they provide me different shots. So, usually they give me 4K resolutions. Tapos, kapag interior sa loob ng bahay, they give me 1080 shots, but with high FPS. But, tanaw the YouTube daw. Nag-YouTube to. Short form to ako yung paong to. Now, anyway, so there are clips na naka 1080 and meron ding 4K. So, the outcome the client always is always 1080 kasi they're just going to um, put it online or put it in their website. So, it's not necessary to put 4K, 720 lang. Now, one of my work is just to choose the best in and outs. I'll click I, and this is where it ends. Oh, drag ko yung video. Usually, I need to slow it down. I'll be slowing it down soon. Well, don't try to follow me about slowing down. Pero, if meron ka mga clips which is like 4K, and you put it in your project, you can still easily use it without any hassle. Just right-click your 4K clip and set the frame size. And now you're able to use it. So you don't need to do the hassle by adjusting the resolution manually. Right-click ka lang, set the frame size. Now you're good. So class, that's how we mix different resolutions into. So that's how we mix different resolutions into one resolution. As long as they are all 16 by 9. Mga landscape lang po sila. What if naman coach naglagay ako ng portrait? What if lang you tried to put a portrait? Like for example, yeah, you tried to put this one. Lagay ako ng portrait ha. Actually, ito po yung ginawa namin kanina with the class.
Do you dream of becoming a pro videographer? What?
Yeah.
Do you dream of becoming a pro videographer?
Okay. So, originally, this is a landscape clip pero nalagay ko sa portrait. So, if you put that here, a portrait, don't expect that it will fit in. Or if nag-right-click ka and you click set the frame size, don't expect that it will fit in, like mag-expand po siya. Because it won't. It is a different aspect ratio. This is what we call the 9:16 aspect ratio. So 9:16 po yan. Yan yung ating tinatawag na portrait. Kaya ang ginagawa sa iba, don't try to follow me yet ha. I'll be teaching you this soon. Either they scale up the one behind and usually they apply a blur. So this is not a part of the class. I'm just giving you a glimpse, please. So either you blur the background behind or put other videos instead. Kaya going back class, the class is really easy. Set the frame size lang po kayo to avoid a clip. Don't try to follow what I did ha. Yung bago lang. Yung aking topic lang sa inyo kanina. If you use these clips na 4K, right click, set the frame size, and you're good. Okay, so that's the end of the session as of this one. And the next topic will be the tools na. Definition of tools na po tayo. So I'll see you in the other end. Thank you.